it's all across the country. And the Utica Marcellus shale is one of the biggest shale plays. But just about every state, as you can see, many of the states have them. Some of them have been being developed since 2005. One of the interesting things is one of the first wells, gas wells ever drilled in Ohio and Pennsylvania, almost 100 years ago, was into a shale formation. So the shale and the shale play has been around for a long time. It's just that these deep shales, we just have the modern technology that we can really get into developing them on a large-scale basis. I was with a group of landowners yesterday down in Monroe County, and some of these people, their initial checks are over $2 million. So there's a lot of money involved, and it's the real deal. It's going to be something very economically significant for the state. And for years, the oil and gas companies would accept these, and they would go and write a new lease. Well, when you're dealing with a Clinton lease and the money involved, everyone was willing to rely on the property owner being honest, that he wasn't developed, that they didn't get rentals, etc. So those leases were no good, and just ignore them. Well, with the kind of dollars you're talking about today, if they're going to pay $500,000, $1 million, or $2 million up front, the oil and gas companies want to know, I'm getting good title to the minerals. I'm told that the fallout rate is about 20%.
An agency agreement is any agreement that a real estate licensee enters into where they will be performing activities that require a real estate license, and in this situation, not only real estate but an auction license. And it talks about how they're going to be paid for performing that service. So, under the Ohio real estate laws, an auction agreement is an agency agreement, and there are certain requirements that have to be included in the agency agreement. One being you have to have a definite expiration date. That's required under the auction regulations also, and a date for the auction or the termination of that auction agreement. But you definitely do need a definite expiration date in that auction agreement. It auctions housing, and they do not have a fair housing language in their auction agreement, so you need to make sure that you do that. And definitely it can be, if you don't have it in your printed auction agreement, it can be addendum to that agreement, but you do need the required fair housing language and the fair housing logo.
As both. So this is Pen Ultimate. You can kind of create your own little notepad and put in pictures, and then I'll obviously send to folks. This one's way cool. It's the Zillow Mortgage app. Now, would you send a buyer client or a seller client to Zillow?
No.
Does the buyer client or seller client know about Zillow?
Yes.
Yes. Now, is that going to be a conversation that's going to come up, or has it come up before? Yeah, it's going to come up at some point. So if you have access to this information, it's going to be one of those things that you're just going to have to know about. It's going to be one of those things you're going to have to put in. Now, not in terms of what they do for the search for homes, but this is the Zillow Mortgage app. It's probably one of the best that I've seen. And guess how much it costs? It's free. You can actually figure out homeowner's payment just by typing in, and you don't even have to type in so much as sliding the little icons back and forth. Also for the affordability too.
IPN is a great way to get them involved and find out there are volunteer leadership opportunities. There are opportunities on committees on all three levels, and we'd really like to have their perspective. So let's talk about some of the events we put on. This is actually a snapshot of the 10-year anniversary of 30 Under 30. This is at Union Station in Chicago. We had over 90 past and current honorees attend that. I actually went back to research all 300, found that about 25% of past Realtor Magazine 30 Under 30 honorees are no longer in the business, and 3 have actually done time.
Done time?
Yes, done time. That's 1%. That's not that good. But it was a very interesting trip down memory lane to see where everyone had been and read about what some people have been doing, and there's some pretty crazy stories.
Yeah.
Financing. To the degree financing is available in the commercial sector, it's through REITs. will actually be positive. So we're bottoming out, just like the residential markets have bottomed out or are continuing to bottom out. So if we could go to the next one.
Tonight, the men and women of the Executive Committee and the Institute's presidents, the treasurer, and the 2012 president-elect join a long line of dedicated professionals who have served the Ohio Association of REALTORS. Ladies and gentlemen, for some of you, your responsibility as a spokesperson for our industry and for the American dream is about to begin. For others, it continues in larger and more responsible roles. None of us should ever underestimate the power of that American dream. The American dream is more than just a vague hope of every American to own his or her own home. The right to own property is the foundation of our political culture. Homeownership is at the core of our national economy. The American dream and all that it implies in terms of building up strong families and communities is at the center of our life together as one nation. Gentlemen and fellow realtors, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been elected to the best of your ability and judgment, that you will observe and enforce the Realtors Code of Ethics, that you will uphold and support the Ohio Real Estate Commission in its enforcement of the license law, that you will, in all of your acts, be governed by the principles of honesty, fair play, and in every manner endeavor to promote the best interest of Ohio and the welfare of its membership. Do you so swear? You may lower your right hand. I now do proclaim each of you duly and officially installed and inaugurated in the office to which you've been elected and appointed.
Right hand. Do you solemnly and sincerely promise that you would administer the office to which you have been elected to the best of your ability and judgment, that you will observe and enforce the Realtors Code of Ethics, that you uphold and support the Ohio Real Estate Commission and its enforcement of the license law, that you uphold and support the Ohio National Association of Realtors, that you will in all your acts be governed by the principles of honesty and fair play, and in every manner possible, endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of Ohio and the welfare of its membership. If you so subscribe, answer by saying, I do. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I do now proclaim you duly and officially inaugurated to the office of President of the Ohio Association of REALTORS.
Well, Stan pretty much said it. I have been very, very lucky all my life. I was lucky in my choice of my parents, lucky in the choice of my family, my friends, and in business. And I'd like to ask you all please to indulge me for just a couple of minutes while I talk about some people who have been very special to me through the years. The lady whom I've come to admire and just enjoy being around is our immediate past president, Meg Hudson. She has represented our association with great enthusiasm and dedication. She has simply been the queen. Well, you know when she's been the queen. So. The friendships that that I've made at the Columbus Board of Realtors over the last 35 years are friendships that I have cherished and will cherish for always. We are one of the most competitive groups of agents you will ever find, but we are also among the most cooperative of agents you will ever find. Thank you all for your support. As I think Stan mentioned, for the last 11 years, it's been my pleasure to be the partner of Charlotte Van Stein and Debbie Bauer. They are both wonderful women and terrific partners. Debbie is here tonight with her friend George Richards, and Charlotte is here tonight with her friend Don Van Stein, who is also our CFO. There's also a number of our agents here, and I'd like to tell you who they are. Nancy and Rick. I want to talk to you briefly tonight about the American dream, about where we are, and about a game plan for 2012. Got a couple stories, they're brief. When my daughter Lindsay was in the first grade, she invited me into her classroom to talk about what I did for a living. I didn't want to let her down. I spent at least 1 hour each night for 2 weeks researching for just the right words and the right things to say. When that day came, let me tell you, I was psyched and I was ready to rock those first graders' world. I had my speech memorized. I was allowed 4 minutes, and here were my topics. 1 minute on why banks should not be in real estate. 1 minute on the value of mortgage interest deduction. 1 minute on FHA, VA, and since this was 1985 or 86, honey, I can't remember which, I talked about the fact that we would be passing laws about septic systems during that year. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been invited or ever done any of these things before, but trust me, there are a lot of really hot dog parents out there. I looked into the eyes of those beautiful, beautiful young children, and I told them that I was a salesman. And I told them what salesmen do, and then I told them that I sell dreams. And I will tell you, every eye popped. They couldn't believe that Lindsay's daddy sold dreams. And I told them that their mommies and daddies had worked hard to provide them with a home. I told them that in the United States of America, we're one of the very few countries in the world where you can own your own home and your own property. And I told them that was the American dream. And I told them further that that is the reason why everyone wants to live here. And a privilege to be your president in 2012. I promise I'll work every day to make you proud that you selected me. Always remember, we are the keepers of the flame of the American dream. 2012 is our year. We have the interest rates, the opportunities, and the dream on our side. Now, let's go make some magic. Thank you for
He evidently spent more than he took in. Now, that's the first sign that something is not right. And so Lou went belly up on that business, and he went back to work for someone else. And truthfully, I think Lou was happier because Lou was not that business person. Now, here's what happens in real estate. I know you know this, but we've got time out right now, and so we're going to put it together. First off, most of us come into the real estate business in sales. Some of us are terrific at sales, some of us are kind of mediocre, and then there's some that just don't make it. I mean, not everybody is cut out to be in real estate. Okay. Then, many of us get an idea, gee, I think I could make more money if I became a broker owner of a company. Now, I'm not going to give any comment, but I know that that happens. And what happens is When we talk about the sales business, it's a business, but it's not quite the business of running a company. They are very different. You have to spend your time differently. You have to make different decisions. And the company should be your focus. In sales, your own sales is your focus. And the two are like two different companies.
And now to Brad's accomplishments. Brad served as the Columbus Board President in 2007. In 2011, Brad served on both the board's Leadership Advisory Academy and its Special Task Force. He was named CDR's Realtor Salesperson of the Year in 2010. He has served on Governmental Affairs, CORPAC, Nominating Scholarship, Finance, and the Strategic Long Range Planning Committees, in addition to being a board director for the past 15 years. This is only naming a few of Brad's committee involvements at CDR. For OAR, Brad has attended every legislative winter and spring conference and annual convention since 2000. He has served on the convention, issues mobilization, legal issues forum, legislative steering, and RPAC fundraising committees. Again, just to name a few. Brad is a recipient of RPAC's President's Circle, Crystal R, and Sterling R awards. Nationally, Brad has served on the NAR Board of Directors since 2006 and on NAR's business issues and federal taxation committees, along with serving as a federal PAC coordinator in 2011. Brad holds the WCR and CRB designations. How does he find time to sell real estate? Penny Triplett has served as chairman of nearly every board committee, including its education, RPAC, scholarship, professional standards, grievance, caring hearts, and budget committees. She is a current Tuscarawas County Board Director and previously served as its president. For OAR, Penny has served as chair of the Appraisal, Equal Opportunity, and Cultural Diversity Committees. She has served on the auction, legal issues, professional standards, strategic planning, executive issues mobilization, affordable housing, legislative and local government committees, and forums. And in addition to serving on a number of task forces and PACs, Penny was named OAR's 2003 Realtor of the Year. At NAR, Penny has served on the Federal Housing Appraisal, serving as its chairman, public policy, and numerous work groups. She holds the CRS and CRB designations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm Realtor congratulations for our outstanding 2011 Distinguished Service Award winners, Brad Bennett, and Penny.
For capital contributions to the Steubenville Board of Realtors, $79.05 per member. Percent participation in the Ashland County Board of Realtors, 116.67%. That's bad. The overall winners, it was a tie between the Ashland Board of Realtors and the Steubenville Board of Realtors. The engagement match in the back to determine the winner. Category 2, 200 to 649 members. Total dollars raised. Youngstown Columbiana Association of Realtors, $17,175. $2,249 members. Total dollars raised. Akron Area Board of Realtors, $26,039. For capital contributions, the Akron Area Board of Realtors, $18.21. The percent participation, the Akron Area Board of Realtors, 38.88. And the overall winner